Hello friends, this is Coldrun back with Mass Effect. And yeah, Captain Anderson's looking over my shoulder. Hello there. And before I get started on this next session, let me just talk a little bit about what I learned in the interim. So I learned a few things. I learned that some of these were guesses, but some of these were just kind of confirmations of stuff I knew, and some of these were stuff that I had no idea about. So the quasar on the house thing from last time, it sounds like that was a... It sounds like the... I didn't even see this, but it sounds like, what's his name? The gamble potato. That he gave me a certain amount of money, and that's what like, the quasar wasn't free, he just gave me money to play the quasar. Okay, that makes sense. It sounds like I cannot swap squad members as you can in other games, just kind of freely. At least in some of the Dragon Age games, I know you can do that. There's like actually, on the other hand, even in Dragon Age Inquisition, there's like a horn that you go to. There are particular spots that you go to swap your party at. So my current guess, at least, is that that's what the ship is going to be. Is that I'll have to swap like before I go out onto each planet or whatever. And also, yes. So if Tali's skill had been high enough, then I just like get a move on back there, and Captain Anderson's impatient. If Tali's decryption skill had been high enough, then I personally would be able to, like on her behalf, decrypt that computer. So that makes sense. On to the Normandy. I think, yeah. No one's guarding it this time.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
Okay.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Yeah, so this is the guy who was the werewolf in Buffy. I don't remember his name, but I liked him. This feels... It definitely does feel a little bit wrong. I mean, with Mr. Anderson... No, Captain Anderson. With Captain Anderson, like, getting the boot for reasons that we still don't quite know about.
Captain Anderson should be the one in charge. It's like I'm stealing the ship from him.
Yeah, the captain got screwed. But it's not like you could have stopped it. Nobody's blaming you.
Yeah,
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
What are these options? Keep this short is, I guess, nothing. Or just... So I guess you say something either way. Now, we do things my way. This is like the I'm your worst nightmare option. Let's be honest.
This is Commander Shepard speaking.
We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy.
Saren will be ready for us. Eden Prime is just the start. Humanity must do its part. Let's go with Eden Prime was just the start.
This began with an attack on a human settlement in the Traverse.
But we know Saren won't stop there. His Geth armies aren't going to stay on the far fringes of Citadel space.
Let's just keep saying that over and over, really drive the point in. No, we must not... Saren will be... Humanity must do its part, nobody's going to help us. So yeah, Saren will be ready for us.
Our enemy knows we're coming.
Wherever he searches for the conduit, we'll be there. We will hunt him to the very ends of the galaxy and bring him down.
Everyone's counting on us. Humanity's in this alone. We must not fail. Everyone's counting us, we must not fail. What's the theme of this mission? Is it we're doing this to help everyone else? I think it's more out of necessity. I think we're doing this because, like, there's an immediate threat, and regardless of the philosophical implications of that, we just gotta kind of keep our heads down.
This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on.
The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren, no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
He doesn't matter anymore. So I'm probably not going to pick these the renegade options, but it doesn't mean I won't be tickled just seeing that they're there, because it's such a dick thing to say. He doesn't matter anymore. I won't let him down. Yeah,
The
him I
captain
feel
gave
supportive
up
of.
everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
He
Yes, ma'am.
doesn't matter anymore. It's not that funny. It's just the exact way to turn everyone on the ship against me as fast as possible. Oh, look outside. We just got the codex entry. Okay. Okay, so what just got updated? I guess it was this first one. FTL drive appearance. New space travelers ask, what does it look like outside a ship moving at faster than light speed? Part of the answer can be seen in a simple pane of glass. Light travels slower through glass than it does through open air. Light also moves slower in conventional space than it does. So here's a total random question. Why is it that when I'm saying these things or when I'm reading these aloud, I'll yawn? Is it because I'm breathing less? Because it's not boring, it's interesting. And, like, is it just that I'm taking fewer breaths? Is that why I tend to yawn when I'm reading stuff aloud? And if so, do teachers have a problem with that? Like, who lecture a lot? I don't know. Anyway, light travels slower through glass than it does through open air. Light also moves slower in conventional space than it does in a high-speed mass effect field. Light moves slower in conventional space than in a it moves slower. So the speed of light is lower? I thought light just moved at a single speed. I guess this is the science fiction thing. So in a mass effect field, it moves faster. Then so from the perspective that you're in, the light outside is moving faster. This causes refraction. Any light entering at an angle is bent and separated into a spectrum. Objects outside the ship will appear refracted. The greater the difference between the objective exterior and subjective interior speeds of light, the greater the refraction. As the subjective speed of light is raised within the field, objects outside will appear to redshift. Now, I do remember that, like, there's a spectrum of light to the extent there's, like, on one side there's, like, ultraviolet, on the other side there's, like, red and X-ray, and there's, like, all this stuff that's outside just what's visible. I don't remember beyond that thing exists, though. Okay, as the subjective speed of light is raised within the field, objects outside will appear to redshift, eventually becoming visible only to radio telescope antennae. High-energy electromagnetic sources normally hidden to the eye become visible in the high blue spectrum. As the speed of light continues to be raised, X-ray, gamma ray, and eventually cosmic ray sources become visible. Stars will be replaced by pulsars, the accretion disks of black holes, quasars, and gamma ray bursts. To an outside observer, a ship within a Mass Effect drive envelope appears blue-shifted. Okay. If within a field that allows travel at twice the speed of light, any radiation it emits has twice the energy as normal. If the ship is in a field of about 200 times light speed, and that's not possible, right? It's physically impossible to move faster than the speed of light as far as we know it, right? Like, even theoretically, it's not possible. If the ship is in a field of about 200 times light speed, it radiates visible light as X-rays and gamma rays, and the infrared heat from the hull is blue shifted up into the visible spectrum or higher. Ships moving at faster than light are visible at great distances, though their signature will only propagate at the speed of light. I understood maybe like 10% of all that, in such a way that I could tell someone else what I was reading afterwards without looking at it. I'll be really interested to see if this comes into play later. Like, if, for instance, I'm thinking of a friend who's watching this might remember, like, the clue puzzle. Like, so if there ends up being a thing where, like, we see a ship on the horizon and it's blue or it's red instead of blue, and it turns out that means that shows us that it's a trick, that it's not an actual ship we saw, just someone badly performing a deception or something, but that seems unlikely. Anyway, sorry for that detour. How are you doing, Joker? How's your dad, Dr. Evil?
Commander, Something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her.
And that's you, I'm guessing.
Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Humble as fuck.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain.
Okay.
You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Are you contagious? Again, the renegade options are cracking me up, even though I don't want to say any of them right now. I don't think I'm going to ask what disease, just because, boy, does that seem rude to ask without. On the other hand, right now there's an imbalance of information. Right now he thinks I know about a disease he has when I actually don't. So maybe saying what disease is will correct that imbalance and let him know what he's talking about. Or let him know that I don't, let him know that there's not that sort of imbalance, that I haven't seen anything like that. Also, this actor, what's his name? Seth Green, I think is his name, is the voice actor. This is definitely not his normal role. His normal role that I've seen him in a couple, I think 2 or 3 times maybe, is as someone who plays it kind of very stoic, low energy, kind of very much like bro dude, like that kind of guy. And this sounds much more like energetic, and I like that change of character from what I've usually seen him.
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander.
Okay.
Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
I mean, he makes, like, that last one was a joke, and so he makes sometimes jokes, so maybe that's why he says that. And is that the same disease that what's his name, Mr. Glass from those M. Night Shyamalan movies had?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
That's no answer. That's an answer. I mean, again, this feels like it's... No, I'll just say, okay.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling.
Oh.
She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
That's interesting. I did not guess that, because he seems like he makes jokes sometimes, but he also doesn't sound like a wacky whatever. So the fact that it's also made just as like a teasing, like he doesn't make jokes, is interesting.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Tell me about your disease. I don't want to do that. That feels really intrusive. Personal history,
How'd you
I
end
guess?
up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Yeah, so I'm going to hold off on tell me about your disease, at least for now, because, again, that feels... It's clearly not something he's... It's not something he's, like, embarrassed about, but he's sensitive about it, about how people will view it and view it in relation to him, and so I don't want to make it seem like his new captain's putting the focus on him. That feels like a dick move for someone who can order him to talk, so let's say goodbye for now.
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Codex. Planets and locations. Planet Joker. Okay, Arcturus station. Arcturus. Oh, this is where he trained, I guess. Okay. Or I guess I don't remember, but I don't remember that name coming up in the convo, but maybe that's why it's coming up now. Arcturus station is the gateway to Sol, a 5-kilometer diameter Stanford Taurus type station at the trailing Lagrange point of the gas giant Themis. Construction on Arcturus station began in 2151 and concluded in 2162. It was inaugurated in 2156. It was inaugurated before it was finished being constructed. I guess like the Death Star wasn't functional before it was fully constructed, the second one. Anyway, and has served as the military and political headquarters of the Systems Alliance from the First Contact War until present. When humanity activated the Kaidan mass relay in 2149, this is the thing that led... wait, is that the thing that led to the... that triggered the First Contact War with the Turians? Wait, when humanity... From the First Contact War until the present, when humanity activated that in 2149, it led to Arcturus, 36 light years from Sol, Earth's sun. Arcturus is the third brightest star seen from Earth. Is that true in real life? I don't know if this is made up or not. It's an ancient red giant from the generation born before Sol, so its worlds are either gas giants or ice chunks. While some rocky debris exists, the metal content is 25% lower than normal. To build Arcturus station, metallic asteroids were towed through the mass relays to the construction site. That's amazing. That's really cool. Many of these asteroids remain near the station. They're mined out areas homes to transient populations. The expense of bringing construction materials into the system was acceptable due to its strategic value. With 3 primary mass relays in addition to the secondary one to Sol, Arcturus is a major communications and military choke point. The Alliance First Fleet is based on Arcturus, where it can guard the gates to Sol and react to incursions in the 3 connected clusters. The station also hosts the Systems Alliance Parliament and the Systems Alliance Military General Headquarters. Its permanent population. This is the military UN sort of thing that replaced the kind of not exactly world government, but sort of like that, right? Its permanent population is approximately 45,000. Okay. Arcturus is actually from the galactic halo, one of a cluster of 52 stars that are crashing through the disk of the galaxy. In 1 billion years, Arcturus will be sailing through the depths of extragalactic dark space. Again, let me know, for the science folks among you, I know there's a couple, how nonsense or fictionalized or real any of this is, because I have literally no idea. I mean, I know that there's no Systems Alliance Parliament, but I have no idea if Arcturus is a thing and if it's part of a cluster of 52 stars or all that sort of stuff. What else, though? Primary. Aha!
The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions, using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive. Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
So I wonder if there's even going to be at some point a decision or a point where you have to do something quickly enough, where you have a timer, and if you take too long, you burst out of stealth and the army around you destroys the ship, or you wait too long and the ship is burned alive. Everyone is burned alive. I wonder if there'll be that sort of timer at some point in the game, based on the way that stealth drive works. Where's that? This is to leave? Airlock. Yes, it's to leave. Let's keep looking around the main area here. Galaxy map, okay. Navigator Pressley, I remember you.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Interesting. I was expecting it to be they're on our side versus like, yeah, humanity forever, fuck the aliens. But no, it's they're on our side, like it's they're on our side, or like they're on our side and you're my subordinate, so deal with it.
We're all on the same team here, Pressley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, it turned out that Nihilus, like, no, I mean, Nihilus was still on their team, though. I guess you're saying that Saren was on our team and Nihilus wasn't, and not that Nihilus wasn't. That Saren was, sorry, you're saying that Saren was on our team and then proved himself to be a traitor, not that Nihilus wasn't on our team to begin with. Okay.
Speak freely, Pressley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I
guess
generally
so.
agree.
Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
Okay. I actually believe you. I don't think you're going to be, like, sabotaging the ship or anything.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
So your formative experience was like kicking alien ass.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Okay, I think
Carry
we're
on,
good.
Pressley.
Yes, ma'am.
Codex. Human diplomatic relations. Here we are. Humanity has encountered many galactic species. Wars have been few, but mistrust is rife. Politically, the Alliance is a peaceful trade partner of the Turians. As a practical matter, however, there's a simmering antagonism and bigotry between both populations over the First Contact War of 2157. And so we haven't actually seen that from the Turian side. I mean, no, never mind. Of course we have. We've met Saren. Never mind. Ignore that. The Alliance enjoys good relations with the... But even then, like, wasn't Saren's thing that humanity was growing too fast? Not that, like... I guess that, maybe that was the simmering thing from the First Contact War? Yeah, maybe. The Alliance enjoys good relations with the Asari, though many privately believe the matriarchs are aristocratic and overcautious. Okay, so they see them as... And don't they have much longer lifespans than humans? And so that's like a common trope in these things for the like the short-lived races to view the longer-lived races as a bit like overly cautious or slow-moving. Though humans know better than to unconditionally trust any Solarian, their shared restless, reckless ways make them natural allies against the conservative Turians and Asari. Okay, the Krogan have no unified government, but individuals are generally treated as potential criminals, a reputation most Krogan enjoy living down to. The Alliance has no formal contact with the Quarians. Their migrant fleet has not yet passed through any human-settled systems. Oh god, I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I feel like humanity is going to really react badly. But that's mostly based on what I know of humans now. Like, I think, at least in the American society I'm living in, I think everyone would be like, oh, the Quarians are going to be a drain on our resources. But it sounds like that's how everyone in this world reacts to. The Batarians are rivals for control of the Skillian Verge. They severed their treaties with the Citadel to prosecute a colonial conflict against the Alliance. Officially, there's no war, but neither is there any peace. Okay. Let's check out the galaxy map. I feel like this... Oh, another codex? Okay. If you insist.
The Citadel. Citadel space is an unofficial term referring to any region of space controlled by a species that acknowledges the authority of the Citadel Council. At first glance, it appears this territory encompasses most of the galaxy. In reality, however, less than 1% of the stars have been explored. Even Mass Effect FTL drive is slow relative to the volume of the galaxy. Empty space and systems without suitable drive discharge sites are barriers to exploration. Only the mass relays allow ships to jump hundreds of light years in an instant. The key to expanding across an otherwise impassable...
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Citadel
Shit.
space is an unofficial term referring to the key to expanding across an otherwise impassable galaxy. Whenever a new relay is activated, the destination system is rapidly developed. From that hub, FTL drive is used to expand to nearby star clusters. The result is a number of densely developed clusters, thinly spread across the vast expanse of space, connected by the mass relay network.
And so, definitely correct me if I'm wrong on this, because this is a piece of history I think I've come across. I just don't remember what's the right answer here. So, at this point, is it all about, in terms of activating new relays? Can we only find old relays that were created by the Protheans, or do we have the technology now to make? Have we like reverse engineered it enough to make our own? To like, if we were to find some new area the Protheans never work, can we create a Mass Effect relay and set it up there like as a beacon? I don't think we can. I think at this point it's just like archaeology and hoping we find stuff the Protheans made, but let me know if I'm wrong on that. Given based on what we know. I mean, maybe we find stuff out later that contradicts it. Just based on what we know now, I guess, is my understanding right or not? Alright, let's see the galaxy map here. Okay, zoom out. Whoa! How far can we zoom? Oh, we can zoom back to the back to the game itself. Okay. All right, so this is the Citadel. Gotcha. So this is the place we're at right now. Widow. I don't know what widow means. I mean, I know what widow means. I don't know what it means in this context. I guess widow is the part of space where the Citadel is. Serpent Nebula. Widow. Also interesting, so this is just in one galaxy. Are there any fantasy or sci-fi, I guess it would be sci-fi if this is the question. Are there any sci-fi games out there that, like, hop from galaxy to galaxy? Rather than just being in one galaxy? There may not, I mean, I am sure there are, I just don't know any. Because both Star Wars and Star Trek are both within the same each take place within one galaxy, right? Okay, yeah, I don't know what... The Milky Way... Wait, so... Serpent Nebula, okay. Horsehead Nebula, Exodus Cluster, Argos Row. These are all places we've seen quests, or some of them are. Artemis Tau, Anakin Beta, Voyager Cluster. See Janeway there. Armstrong Nebula, Kepler Verge, Hawking Ada. These are all things that have come up to me, I think, in different quests and stuff. Or at least many of them are. Some of them I don't remember offhand. The Again, I don't know what Widow is. I have no idea what Widow is talking about here. Because it feels like it's on the Citadel? I don't know. Anyway. We'll leave that for now. And I like that music, that, like, map music. Alright, so where are we going now? Comm room. Let's check out the comm room first. I don't know if we've actually been there. FTL comlink, okay. Communications. Real-time communication is possible thanks to networks of expensive mass relay comm buoys that can daisy chain a transmission via lasers. Comm buoys are maintained in patterns built outward from each mass relay. Okay. The buoys are little more than a cluster of primitive, miniature mass relays. Each individual buoy is connected to a partner on another buoy in the network, forming a corridor of low-mass space. Tight beam communication lasers are piped through these tubes of FTL space. These have got to be like so small it's not visible tubes. Tubes of FTL space, allowing virtually instantaneous communication to anywhere on the network. The networks connect across regions by communications lasers through the mass relays. With this system, the only communications delay is the light lag between the source or destination and the closest buoy. So long as all parties remain within half a light second of buoys, seamless real-time communications are possible. So if you're close enough, you can have basically a telephone conversation. Okay. Since buoys are maintained in all traveled areas, most enjoy unlimited instant communication. Ships only suffer communications lag when operating off established deep space routes around uninhabited outer system gas giants and other unsettled areas. Okay. During wartime, comm buoy networks are the first target of attack. That absolutely makes sense. Once the network is severed, it can take anywhere from weeks to years to get a message out of a contested system. In systems where a buoy network has not yet been built or has been destroyed, rapid communication means ferrying information through high-speed courier ships and unmanned data drones. Okay, so yeah, during warfare, you want to put your opponent in a fog of war as much as possible, and yep, totally makes sense. Out we go here and down the ship. Pull out my gun. Oh wait, I can't pull out my gun. I was going to try to pull out my gun so I could see the fatigue meter. Maybe there's no fatigue meter here. Alright, let's see what's in the mess hall. Kaidan. There's Kaidan. Who are you? How you doing, subordinates? Bow to me. Wait, is this... Oh, okay, medical. Yeah, let's go from top to bottom. Aid station. Okay, replenish some anti-gel. I assume is there a downside to using this? I assume there's not. I assume, like, I'm not losing money or losing some giant store of metagel that I'm just not familiar with. I assume it's just infinite once I'm on here. How you doing, Dr. Chakwas?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
There is. I want to talk to you about personal questions.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school.
Oh, no, we talked to you.
I wanted to try, but humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep it.
I should go.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I think we talked to you. Okay. What's this room? The lab and storage. Okay, so nothing here just yet. I know the way that, like, the MMO Star Wars The Old Republic, another very good BioWare game, not great, but pretty good, is the way that that's set up is on your ship when you first get in, there's a ton of empty rooms, and each one, as you grow, becomes populated by a member. Like, you might have the tech room, and, like, eventually if you get a robot companion, maybe the robot, like, is in the tech room. Something like that. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case here, because we've already met most of our characters. Not most of our characters, but our party members, at least. Kaidan... Yeah, let's talk to you. Staring contest.
Anything you need, Commander?
Oh, okay. Let's do both of these things, because I want to do both of these things. I want to get his tactical appraisal and personal input. I assume this is not a renegade option.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
You've wasted about 25 seconds of my time.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Not really. That was... Maybe he doesn't like me? Or maybe, I don't know, it was a little bit weirdly standoffish. I might be misunderstood. Ooh, sleeper pod. Oh, is this going to tell me about, like, what you do in faster than light travel, or just in overlong hauls? Not just, because not just faster than light, it's about how much time passes inside the ship, right? Crew considerations, yes. Cabins give each individual 10 cubic meters of space. On larger vessels, private rooms are common. As ships get smaller, the number of crew packed into a single ward room? What's a ward room? Increases. Asari prefer shared spaces even on large vessels, while Krogan territorial instincts make it impossible for them to cohabitate even on the smallest ships. Oh gosh, I hope that, I know this ship is pretty nice, but even so, I hope that Rex gets enough space. On smaller vessels, hot bunking is the norm. Crew members assigned to different watches share the same bunk. How many fanfics were written on the basis of this? When one gets off duty, he wakes up the person in the bunk. When that crewman is on duty, the first gets his rack time. Okay, so they do sleep at different times anyway. Spacecraft compartments can be isolated by airtight doors in case of decompression. The cinematic version of explosive decompression is fiction. Hold compartments either take enough damage that occupants are killed instantly, or leak slowly enough that they are able to reach protective gear. I believe that's probably actual science, but I don't know. Compartments are equipped with emergency life support apparatus. Fireproof plastic bubbles with air bottles. Emergency life support apparatus. Fireproof plastic bubbles with air okay. Small one stowed Elsa comfortably. It should be apparatus is probably the plural, I guess. Elsa comfortably accommodate one individual inflated. Damage. Okay, so this is like a little space safe life preserver. Not that safe, but safer than dying. Immediately. Damage control procedure cuts off ventilation to burning compartments. Without oxygen to consume, fires die in seconds. The compartment is repressurized afterwards for crew recovery. Okay, no, never mind. Nothing for space. I was thinking of it as like a life vest or something, or as a lifeboat, but no, it's not that. Okay, I get it. Gotcha. Mass effect fields create an artificial gravity, plane below the decks, preventing muscle atrophy and bone loss in 0G. It's weird to see G spelled out like that. Large vessels arrange their decks perpendicular to the thrust axis. The highest decks are at the bow, and the lowest are at the engines. This allows A-Grav to work with the inertial effects of thrust. Ships that can land arrange their decks laterally, so that crew can move about while the vessel is on the ground. Okay. I sort of get that. I think I'd like to see a visual of it to understand, but I sort of get the gist. Warships normally turn off their A-Grav systems during combat, reducing the heat generated by systems and increasing combat endurance. To provide a point of reference for navigating in 0G, floors are painted a different color from the walls and ceilings. That's really cool. That floors are painted different from walls and ceilings. I like that. So that's not the case here, I don't think, but on ships where that's a thing, it is. Again, let me know if I'm probably misunderstanding all the science, and that's okay. Personnel manual, okay. Oh, welcome to Codex the Game. Sorry about this. I'm not sorry. I like it, but I'm sorry for any of you who are hoping... Because I know that there's some games, like some Let's Plays I watch where I just want to see the action, and some I'm really into the story, and some I just want to... And for the ones where there is a lot of lore and I'm just interested in the action, I find myself skipping past a lot of stuff. So don't feel bad if you do that and you're skipping past all the codices. But if you're doing that, you're probably not hearing this, so I don't know. If a warning is made in the forest and no one hears it, sort of thing. Anyway, military ranks. The Alliance uses a modified version of the ranking system that has been used for hundreds of years, the ELO system. Soldiers are classified into rank and file enlisted personnel, experienced non-commissioned officers, NCOs, and specially trained officers. Yeah, so very, very similar to, like, I mean, they're just copying straight from, like they say, older militaries, or as I play this game, modern day militaries. The divide between naval personnel and ground forces, Marines, is small. Is that what a Marine is? It just means it's someone on the ground? I assume that had to do with, like, someone who traveled through water. I guess I don't know why a Marine is called a Marine. Okay, anyway. Ground units are a specialized branch of the fleet, just as fighter squadrons are. This unity of command is imposed by the futility of fighting without control of orbit. Without the Navy, any army is pointless. The Marines, as a matter of pride, maintain some of their traditional rank titles. For example, Marines have privates and corporals instead of servicemen. In ascending order of responsibility, the ranks of the Alliance are... Now, I was at one point, I personally was deciding whether to enlist in the Navy, but I decided not to. I did not end up doing that. But I always thought one of the more challenging things, that probably wouldn't actually be a challenge, but I don't know how they do it, is memorizing all these different ranks. Like, is that an actual assignment that, like, new enlisted, new soldiers, new sailors, like, is that all new? I'm not sure what a general person in the Air Force is called. Is that just something they all sit down and, like, get flashcards and memorize on, like, the first week of orientation or basic training or whatever? Honest question there, I don't know. Enlisted, serviceman 3rd class, private 2nd class, serviceman 2nd class, private 1st class, serviceman 1st class, corporal. Why is there a slash? Are those the exact... Is that... Like, if I'm a serviceman 3rd class, am I also a private 2nd class? Oh, no, they said Marines have privates, and Marines have privates, but the Navy has... Okay, gotcha, understood. NCO. So NCOs, there's no break here. Service Chief, Gunnery Chief, Operations Chief, officers. So as a non-commissioned... can a non-commissioned officer ever become a commissioned officer? Anyway, 2nd Lieutenant, 1st Lieutenant, Staff Lieutenant, Lieutenant Commander, Staff Commander, Captain / Major. I didn't know there was a difference there. Like, I didn't know there were different services. Rear Admiral, General. Again, I had no idea there was a difference between... No, I guess I knew that. So I guess Admiral is a naval thing, General is not. Admiral and Fleet Admiral. Okay. Good to know. By good to know, I mean good to be aware of. Because, like, again, most of that won't stick, but it's good to have kind of a first look at it. Shepherd's Locker. Okay, so I took both things out. Systems Alliance N7. This is the thing on her chest, right? Or her stomach? I don't remember where it is, actually. The Alliance Military Vocational Code system classifies the career path of all serving personnel. The MVC, Military Vocational Code, consists of one letter and one number. A soldier's MVC indicates proficiency, not rank. The letter notes career path. The number indicates level of experience. as indicated by service record. Technical scores and commendations. Okay, so it's a holistic number. It's not just based on years of service. It's also based on how good you are. Okay, good. I mean, not good, it's just interesting. All 26 letters are used in numbers run from 1 to 7. N is the letter code for Special Forces personnel. I wonder if this is like, so I'm also playing a game called Final Fantasy Type 0, where like for years this military school had like classes 1 through 12, and like 1 was the super class, 12 was like the goof offs, but there was the legend of Class 0. I wonder if there's like some secret stealth agent out there who's like N8 that like everyone hears the stories about. Probably not. I already talked to you. But if there is like the N8 out there, maybe Captain Anderson's like, I'm N8. Maybe like some of you are, I don't know, like, oh shit, he's either played the game before or he's really lucky. And I can assure you, if it is, it's luck, and my luck is usually bad. Anyway, I think this is actually it for me for this session. Wait, do I get conversations if I use the elevator? Probably not, because it's just me, right? Where's the elevator even go? It's a slow elevator. Is it going down? There was another floor. Okay, before we talk to these folks, let's check out the engineering bay. We're going to keep going a little bit longer. This is cool. Oh, and Tali, of course, found her place here. You nerd.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
Oh, I love your nerdiness.
I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Boy, am I not going to use the gathering information on this thing.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You're into ship. This sounds like a terrible pickup line. It's like, hey, so you like ships, eh?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work.
One big fleet of Theseus.
We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
That makes sense.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some... There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
By the way, I have two things. One, I have a bad memory, and two, the game doesn't tell me when I'm repeating conversation. So there's definitely going to be times when I'm repeating something and don't remember it. Again, apologize. It's going to happen. There's just no way around it that I can think of. I can't even edit it out, because if I don't remember I had a conversation, how do I know to edit it out? So again, feel free to skip forward if it's something you've heard before.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point.
How do they enforce that?
Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
I'm glad that they went to those options instead of, like, making it a law that, like, everyone has to try to have at least one birth or something like that, everyone who can. Yeah, this is like a non-horrifying option.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Most, but not all.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts.
Oh, I like that.
It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's really good. Okay, everything about the Quarians is cool to me.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
That was a mistake. I don't think you need to hammer that in at this point, for her especially.
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brain power?
Right, and we know that from the Codex entry.
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
That's so cool. Just that concept of, not of like having like the Geth queen or Geth king, but of having just like that. It's like just their intelligence is proportional to how many there are. That doesn't even sound like hive mind stuff to me. It's something. It seems cooler to me. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their
that's the
programming
difference.
Cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Okay. I don't get it. No, I get it.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? what is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Why? It's because philosophy majors are annoying as fuck, and I say this as one.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first.
By changing their status?
A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
I really want to say, what did you expect? Like, because the right answer in this case would be, oh, it looks like they're sentient, so let's, so it would be, so, like, they're sentient, and so, oh, sorry, I might be at the end of my time, so let me just make sure I'm just going to pause, I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, so the right thing to do here would have been, I mean, I don't know if it's the right thing, the thing that seems like at least the most moral action, independent of how possible it was in their society, seems like it would have been to reevaluate the Geth's role in their society. Incorporate them as members, or free them, or something. But no, they tried to kill them all, basically.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld.
This is pre-flotilla, okay.
Would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Serves you right. Oh my god. This is... Again, the bottom options are like how to turn everyone possible against you. How to be the biggest dick you possibly can. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they defend themselves, but we literally just said that. And let's ask Pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and...
Right, so we know that.
No ship wants to accept someone.
Right.
We set out alone, leaving... This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join.
So I think we've already seen
this.
this.
If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
I want to talk about something.
Like what?
Okay.
I should go.
Yep, so that last part I'm pretty sure we already knew. And like, I not just knew, but I think that we already went through that dialogue, that last part about the pilgrimage. Whoa, non-council races have a bunch of crap here. Okay. Quarian's economy, government, and migrant fleet. That's actually, I'm kind of over time right now. I don't have the time right now, so I'm going to call it for here. Next time we will look at the Quarian codex details that arrived. We'll check out the rest of this place in this level, and then we'll check in with everyone in this room over here. So thank you for watching. That's going to be it, and I'll see you all later. Let me just make sure I wrap up over here. Get a little cool ending. Yeah, there we go. Okay, bye-bye.